Good now, revolutionaries, and happy Monday. Welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Just kidding.
I mean, that was kind of hype.
That was
Why have
way
we never
more
done
hype.
that?
Way
That was
more
way
hype
more
than I was
hype.
prepared to
We've
be
never.
on a
I
Monday
mean,
morning.
that was better than me drinking all this.
Yeah,
You know.
Hey, that amount of espresso will jack you the fuck up.
Speak for yourself.
I believe it. I believe it. Michael Buffer level jacked. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. Today is Monday, March 17th. Whether you're watching now or in the future, this is your place for helpful news, helpful commentary, answers to your crypto questions, and hanging out with all of your friends. That is the best way, by the way, to learn about crypto is to get into a community of other interested, curious, skeptical people. So if you've got a crypto question, if there's something that you're wondering about, whether it's how do I buy Bitcoin to how do I pick a cold storage wallet and everything in between, that's what we're here for. We're so glad to be with you. And I do want to invite you to check out all the resources we've got. Put a little pin in your brain to remember the riseupmorningshow.com and the Rise Up Discord server at the links on the screen. That's your free passport to get involved with us. Find us 24/7. So, guys, how was your weekend? How's everything doing?
Good, man.
Oh, well, you know, St. Patrick's Day in Boston is always a good time.
Will, you briefly tuned in, and so did you, Alex, when I had a little just quick catch up live. Alex roasted me from the comments, and Will, I felt like we were having like a boys' slumber party because you were on the floor.
I was on the floor. Yeah, the floor was good. The floor was nice. It was very comfortable.
Did Violet get off to her trip safely?
Yeah. She landed in Istanbul about at 6:30 in the morning, our time, my time. So 5:30 your time. But yeah, the flights to Turkey, they are typically almost always leave Boston at like 9 o'clock at night. So they get there, and now she's there, and she has pretty much like a half day until she then has some work stuff. My girlfriend's in Istanbul for work, so she has work events at night, and then she'll be back Friday night. And then I'll be happy.
Yeah. Happy. How about you,
Although
Alex?
technically I won't see her, but I'll just be glad that she's home because I'm going to go skiing while she's away.
That feeling, though, of knowing that your loved one is back in your orbit, that's just a good feeling.
I know, and cleaning the apartment that I'm just going to leave as a mess.
Oh my gosh. Can't believe you were hanging out on a live show with me on the floor as she was packing, and now you're going to be skiing while she's cleaning the apartment.
Yeah, no, I'm going to make sure it's all squeaky clean for my baby gets back. And then it's our 3-year anniversary on the 20th, so she won't be here for it. We have dinner plans on Sunday. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. No small feat. Where are you dining? Is there like a special place? Are you allowed to tell us?
Yeah. I mean, she knows. It's a place called Contessa. So it's a French restaurant that sits directly above the Boston Public Gardens. Right now, it's not the best view. You typically want to go in the summertime or spring when everything's in bloom. But you know, it's a good French restaurant. They have some American things too, but it's a little hard to get into. So you know, you have to kind of plan ahead. But yeah, that's it. That's where we'll be.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Al, what about you? Did you make it through the weekend?
Yeah. So Tybie's St. Patty's Day parade was Saturday, so I was there for that. It was pure pandemonium. That island is not built to handle as many people as were there, but we crammed them all in anyway. And then actually today is Savannah's. So Savannah is impassable today. Boston throws obviously a hell of a party. I think Savannah is.
I want to come down for Savannah because Savannah's is like infamous for Patty's Day, which is weird because like I don't think there's a single Irish person in that town. But
we import a few for today, but no, it's packed. I've done the parade many times. The first 3 times I did it, I walked in it, which was an experience, and then the last 2 I did the overflights, which is way better because you can just see everybody stuck in traffic from the helicopter, and then you fly away. But not going this year. Although Jordan is this year, they left several hours. They left a couple hours ago already. Just to try to get down there. Most of the people that I know who are doing the parade today got there last night. And
your guys' parade is today?
The Savannah parade is today. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, for us it's always Sunday because that's the holy day.
Nope. It's today. Hundreds of thousands of people are coming into Savannah for it. It's insane. They shut the whole city down. They import a bunch of cops. The parade is massive. And then they'll. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take them to get out of there, but Jordan gets to do it. So he's going to be on a float with our neighbors. Their company has a float, so they invited him to ride on their bus thing with them this year. He's skipping school and he's doing the parade.
Nice. Hell
Very
yeah.
cool. Party. Absolute legend.
He's gonna come back
Jordan,
hammered.
We're shot.
He's gonna come back hammered.
Oh my god!
You're just gonna hear the jangling of empty nips in his pockets. Wait, what do you guys call them? I know people.
I don't call them nips, but I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
I would call them tiny bottles of liquor.
Every time I open the fridge,
tiny.
Every time. I'm always like, Jordan, you want a beer? And he's like, Alex, I'm 11. I'm like,
I'm 11.
The joke, I'm hilarious. He's like, that's not funny.
I'm super funny.
Hey man, my dad can beat up your dad.
Okay, you came here to talk about crypto. You know that we're okay. We're making it, and we are so glad to be here with you. If you haven't thrown your question in by now, then let it go. Let it rip into the comments. And if you don't want to let it rip into the comments, then toss it in the Discord like Fish on here. Alex, thank you for pulling this up. It says, in my Discord, I keep getting an invite in my inbox to receive 15 ETH to join the ETH airdrop server. Is this legit? And what is an airdrop? I'm very new to this. Thanks. Fish on Skeleton, first of all, thank you so much. We're so glad that you're here, especially if
Fish on Skeena Wild, whatever.
Skeena Wild. Look, I can't even read this morning. What do you guys think? Does this sound legit? And what is an airdrop?
It is as legit as that Nigerian prince who just needs a little bit of money to help save his family or fund his kingdom. That's how legit it is.
Yeah, I'm sad to tell you, but this is a scam. Any person who is direct messaging you with no notice, how did they get your number? Where did they come from? If they've got money, if they want you to invest in a trading ring, they just want to check on your investments. I don't know what other ones exist, guys, but it's a no-go.
It's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
Yep, hard no.
Alex, what is an airdrop? Because I've heard about some people getting unsolicited, like just tokens, and sometimes it turns into real money. Can you explain that? And also maybe dusting?
Well, that's one of the reasons that scams like that can be kind of effective, because obviously airdrops are a real concept in the world of cryptocurrency. You can receive them for all sorts of things. Sometimes it's for holding a specific token, and holding that entitles you to some sort of reward. Sometimes it's for using a protocol, like if a new DeFi thing opens up, they don't have a token yet, and you staked with them, then perhaps they're tracking those wallets and you get an airdrop for something like that. There's all sorts of stuff. Airdrops happen all the time, legit ones, but because of that, non-legit ones also happen all the time. And really the two that you need to be aware of would either be lures like that one, where hey, do this thing, do that thing, and open yourself up to an airdrop. And really that involves like opening yourself up to some other sort of scam, downloading something, connecting to something sus, giving permissions to some weird protocol for your wallet or something like that could end up getting you drained. It could be pretty much anything. Or dusting, which is sending unsolicited airdrops to people and just having them be malicious in some capacity, whether the tokens themselves are linked to a malicious contract that could end up draining your wallet if you do something with them, if you try to cash them out, if you try to sell them somewhere. They can't hurt you if you don't do anything to them. So I always just treat, if you receive an airdrop, the best thing that you can do until you know for sure is just pretend it's not there. Just treat it like email spam with a PDF attachment that you didn't ask for. You would never download that PDF not knowing who it came from. I do the same thing with these airdrops.
Just a couple of quick resources. If that's something you're interested in learning more about, or you're curious about where this free money comes from and you'd like to check it out yourself, one of the best website resources for this is airdrops.io. It is a totally free to use site that will tell you about the latest airdrops, hottest airdrops, potential airdrops, as reported by people in their crypto community. You know, anybody can go on here and give them a tip. I know that one that's happening right now is this one, Keiko Finance. You can read on this site how to earn points or the actions you can take, whether an airdrop is confirmed or if it's just speculative, to make yourself eligible. Sometimes this can be as easy as moving tokens to a new kind of wallet, using a product or service. And sometimes, a lot of the time lately, they want to track this with points for doing things like trading or executing a swap, that kind of thing. The other resource I'll very quickly tell you is our favorite DeFi Llama. We love the people over at DeFi Llama. The show's not sponsored by DeFi Llama, but one day we hope to write them a very, very big check.
We're going to write them a check? Oh, because they take donations.
Right. You're damn right.
One day. We're giving who money?
That's right. Will's like, hang on a second.
You didn't talk to me about this.
Well, I was going to tell you later. If you go to DeFiLlama.com, and you should be hanging out there anyway, and you navigate to the pools tab on the left-hand side, as you're searching for opportunities to earn yield, which is income on your crypto, like you do at your savings account, you might see a little icon that looks like a parachute, which indicates that a project you are looking at parking your tokens with has no token currently, but might have a token that they may airdrop to others in the future. Thank you for the assist, Will. It looks like a little guy parachuting just like that. And that's on the DeFi Llama website. It's a great site. The commercial's over. I don't know. Do you guys have any other airdrop resources? I feel like that was thorough but concise.
I don't have any other resources. There were just questions or comments I wanted to address, but Alex, you go.
Touch them.
No,
okay. Oh, whoa. Evan. Relax, buddy. Relax. Touch him. Oh, Jesus.
Fact check yourself, brother.
Today of all days.
For him.
But yeah, there was a comment which was, should I use or like spin up a new wallet if I'm going to go airdrop hunting? I do. I do, just because like usually, and there was another question of why do you airdrop? So I'll answer both in the same
Tell me why.
in the same go. But people will do airdrops to try to incentivize you to come on and test out and try their new decentralized application, right? It's an incentive to get people to come and check them out, right? And then hopefully after the airdrop, you know, a bunch of people will leave, but some people will stay and be like, oh, this is cool. So it's a way to kind of do that. And so why I spin up new wallets is just like, if I'm connecting to a new decentralized application, new decentralized applications have a much higher risk of having like something wrong in the code. Maybe the team's nefarious. Maybe, you know, there's just a lot of questions, a lot of potential concerns because it's new, hasn't really been tested. You don't know how well it was really audited, even if you see like we were audited. And sometimes, you know, that's it still means that like from a security standpoint, their app is like a piece of Swiss cheese with a bunch of holes in it. And so you just don't know. So it's good to be careful to silo like your main hot wallet or hot wallets and then use like some burner wallets, if you will. And then once you get the airdrop, if you want to send that to your main hot wallet or whatever, or to an exchange, whatever you want to do, maybe you want to stake it. I don't know. But you can do whatever you like with it afterwards.
Very helpful. And we're talking about this in the comments too. Unfortunately, there is no good way, because we want blockchains to be free and open and permissionless, not controlled by one entity or person. There's really no good way to censor them such that you could turn the ability for somebody to send this stuff to you off. However, we have been talking about this kind of thing for years. It would be so nice for some wallet companies to implement an escrow service so you could approve the tokens that were sent to you. And I will tell you that there are a few wallets, mostly in their settings, have a feature called hide junk tokens or hide small balances that you can toggle on to help you get rid of this. It's just a nuisance, like when people throw a flyer on your car after a concert. But if you want to find out how to do that, I would just Google your specific wallet and then how to hide tokens. That'll bring up a tutorial. What's so funny there?
No, it's one question, which was, why is no one talking about Polkadot with their technology? Is Dot a sleeping dinosaur? And I know he was trying to say, is it a sleeping giant? And so Alex goes, it's a dinosaur, all right. I was in the same wavelength, like, oh, it's a dinosaur.
I will say we love him though. I was at an event that at East Denver. Did you guys make it out to the Layer Zero Web3, the mansion
no.
that Polkadot was hosting?
No.
they had a really concerted, thoughtful space that was open all week at East Denver, and they hosted other people's events, and they had their team there to talk with builders, share about grant programs, share about the ecosystem. It was really very thoughtful, and I thought their team was great. Like, they may not be doing a lot right now that is grabbing headlines or pushing out crazy apps, but they're well funded and they're building. We have one other really good question here that's kind of tied to this, which is how soon is too soon or too late to get a cold wallet? Like, how much money, if I've got, $100 in crypto or $10,000 in crypto or 100,000, whatever, like, at which point should I consider getting a cold wallet? Is it based on how much money I've invested? And generally speaking, like, how hard are they to use and how much do they cost?
Yeah, I mean, they can cost somewhere between like $100 to like $300. Like, it just depends on like how many features and how many bells and whistles you want on it, right? So, because you can go to like a Ledger and have multiple different products. And so, what you guys have always said, and I think that's pretty accurate, is if you have enough crypto where it costs more than the cold storage unit, and or it's enough money to the point where you're like, I don't want to lose this, maybe take a look at a cold wallet. That's that.
Yeah, I would agree. And do you think they're terribly hard to use, Will?
No, it's not that they're hard to use. It's just that it's something different.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. I mean, they're super easy. I mean, I take my Ledger Nano S, which I've had for years now, since 2017. I plug it into my computer. There's like some software on my computer, just like a little app that pops up, and then put in my little password or whatever. And then I pull up my Ledger and I say, yep, I want to connect. Do you want to approve transaction? I go, yes, I want to approve transaction. Transaction goes through. There you go.
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I actually had the pleasure of hanging out with Lisa, shout out Lisa, listener of the show, who is local here in my area this weekend. We've gotten together a couple of times because she wanted my help setting up cold storage. She felt like it was a little intimidating and just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to do it wrong. And I think a lot of people do feel intimidated because, like you said, it's new. And I just want to say, I am so proud of everyone who listens to our show and takes these things seriously. I said to Alex when I was telling him about this, I wish we had been around when I was trying to learn about this stuff, because she said, I got a dedicated device, a small laptop that I'll only do crypto stuff with. I'll only do it on Wi-Fi networks I know. And I've got my cold storage wallet. I was like, listen, you are so ahead of the game. That is like security 301. You're killing it. And we set up her wallet. We transferred some tokens. And then we talked about how to add custom tokens. That's going to be our next thing that we're going to do. The cool thing about cold wallets is that every time you use them, they get easier and easier and easier because you're pretty much doing the same thing every time. And now there's so much more support than there was a few years ago. MetaMask, for example, has an integration they've built for Ledger specifically, where you can connect to Ledger Live, which is the software Will is talking about, and do things that Ledger didn't support before, like adding a totally custom token to your wallet. So they're innovating this stuff all the time. It's absolutely worth learning about, because even if you feel good about your exchange, maybe use Coinbase or Kraken or Binance, having the tools to practice self-custody, it just gives you more options to truly own the information that represents your money, and also sets you up to own the information that is tokenized that will matter to you in the future if you're, playing a game or using a blockchain bank or engaging with a healthcare provider who uses blockchain. You'll be set to know how to custody those things yourself. So if you need help with that, that's something we can help with too. You can reach out in the Discord or book one of us to spend time with us to walk you through it. And I have one more question that's a good follow-up on that, which is about on-chain actions. Alex, can you clarify this one? Somebody asked, so when I'm moving tokens from an exchange, on an exchange, there's no gas fee. But when I'm moving tokens off an exchange or from my cold wallet back to an exchange, I have to pay gas. When do I have to pay gas fees? Because it seems inconsistent. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, there's two questions in there. When do you, the user, have to pay the gas fee, and when does a gas fee apply? A gas fee applies every single time. You just don't always have to pay it, because sometimes if you're using a centralized source like Coinbase or Kraken, maybe they handle it for you, or they kind of equalize it. Like you might notice that, on Coinbase, if you're doing some ETH trading back and forth, you're paying, standard exchange fee. And then when you're doing some Solana back and forth, you're paying the same standard exchange fee, even though the gas fee to move that SOL is way cheaper. Or literally anything else, whether it's moving, Cardano around or any other thing with a lower gas fee compared to that ETH, you're going to pay the same fee. And that's just because exchanges just kind of standardize the whole thing and make you pay the fee. But rest assured, that fee is going towards gas partially, and then the rest of it is their service charge. But if you're just, out on chain elsewhere, whether you're in cold storage, whether you're in one of your hot wallets or anything like that, you're going to be paying gas on whatever your network is, whatever is applicable. And I think, what is it? Is it the Milk Road that has live tracking of gas all over the place for different chains? I think.
If they do, I'm not hip to that. I use cryptocurrency alerting, and the ETH gas tracker was a tool I used, but it retired recently.
Here we go. I got you.
There we go. Are you going to share this? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, hang on. Here I come.
Milk Road.
Okay, so the Milk Road has an ETH gas fee tracker, and as you can see right now, it's dirt cheap. So just for future reference, people like to say that ETH gas is expensive, and it is comparatively. But right now, it's all less than $1, including an NFT sale, which is the heaviest single transaction. So
only $1.
Not even.
Can you imagine when we're living in the future that Jesse Pollock and Mert and everybody else envision, and we're never ever going to have to pay a gas fee over, a cent again? Unless
we're almost there.
The government. I know we are. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, it's yeah. There are obviously, like Nick points out, stuff like ICP have gasless transactions.
Sure.
There's a couple others that have managed to crack that nut in some settings and whatnot. And there's of course like Base, for example. Base ran some promos with a whole bunch of stuff when they were first getting started, where they were sponsoring gas fees, and so you were getting them waived because the protocol was paying it. And that kind of depends. I've seen things for gas grants where if you're launching a product and someone wants you to use their network, they might sponsor just the gas costs for the mint or the airdrop or the whatever you're doing, because all of it costs. And usually with those big kind of bundles of transactions too, the gas fee can be pretty significant. Even on dirt cheap networks. Back in the day when we were using Multiverse X, the blockchain formerly known as Elrond, the average gas fee was a third of a penny ish. But you send out something that does 25,000 transactions in one fell swoop to do a mass airdrop to a whole bunch of wallets and send multiple things out and do a mint or something like that, you're paying a shitload in gas.
Alex, can we actually really quick talk about that? I don't know if you have it on your computer. Do you have a picture of the Funbox? Because since we were talking about airdrops and dusting, I thought it might be a cool example to say, like, how can this not be a nuisance, and how will we use this in the future?
I don't.
Okay, don't fret about it. I'll paint the picture with some words very briefly. A few years ago, we had a community of friends. Many of you are members, were there, the Faceless Many, and we launched an additional collection of characters called the Faceless Mini. And the Faceless Mini were designed by our friend, the craftsman, Kaio Madao, the inimitable Kaio Madao.
Oh, you mean that?
I'm talking about the Funbox. Yeah, the coupon.
Well, you use the word Funbox to describe about 19 different things.
I do. I'm a Funbox maxi, man.
Will, you're muted, you wiener.
I'm a big wiener today, guys.
He's a wiener. I'm a maxi, and you're hanging out with us. So
I'm a wiener. You're a Funbox. Gotta figure out how this exists.
Oh my God! Whoever's listening to this show in public, we're so sorry to what we've done to your perception. We had this.
I'll find
Yeah, he'll find it. So we had the Faceless Mini. It was another token that we were going to, a collectible we were going to airdrop to people just for being part of our community. And the way we wanted to do it was to send them a coupon. We wanted to do it totally on chain. It would make it easier to verify. It would make it easier for them to redeem, and it would just be cool because we're always talking about this stuff. So we created this ticket that we sent in a transaction to all the wallet addresses we knew held these non-fungible tokens for the Faceless Mini. And attached to it was a really cool piece of artwork that Alex will show off in a second that looked like a promotion for a little, like a Funko collectible almost. Your Faceless Mini was like inside this box, and this token was your ticket to redeem it. And at the time you redeemed it, you would get like a fun little experience of discovering what your Faceless Mini or Faceless Minis, depending on how many little coupons you got, looked like. It was our way to advertise to on-chain natives who were checking their wallets that like, hey, this is a legit airdrop that we're going to do for you. And the way they could verify it's legitimate is to look at, you know, what's the token that had just appeared in my wallet? Who sent it to me? They're going to click the link inside to look us up on the blockchain, and they'll see, oh yeah, this is the known wallet affiliated with the Faceless Mini. This is legitimate. And this is a coupon. They came back to our Discord and they were talking about it. In the future, McDonald's will airdrop coupons like this to Burger King customers because they will have receipts on chain, and they will know who is buying a Whopper every single day at 4:55 p.m. and they want that person to buy a Big Mac instead. So, you know, right now, a lot of people use it as a nuisance. They send you tiny amounts of SOL every single day, and you're like, casino flip, I don't care about you. But communities you care about, causes you care about, companies you like, will definitely use this technology in the future to make your customer experience better and add back value. You know, share it with you.
And Alex, I know this is all Multiversus X. So if you want to take the Multiversus X cartridge out, blow inside of the blockchain, and then put that thing back in to that ancient piece of garbage, you know, you might want to try that.
Or maybe I should have said, since you mentioned cartridges.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you get rugged?
No, this is just fighting with Discord right now.
The box is not so fun.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
He'll get it. He'll get it. Don't fret about it. Tori is currently watching the show from two accounts.
Has anybody ever used the blockchain Multiversus X? I'm sure there's somebody here from the community.
I'm telling you, Tori was there with us. She is an OG, and honestly, their wallet, the Multiverse X wallet, whatever, what's the X Portal?
It used to be called Myar, and now it's called X Portal.
It was a fantastic app, awesome wallet, great user experience.
It was good.
I just don't know.
It was good.
Tokenized coupons, basically, exactly. Okay, while you're doing that, is it okay if I just read very briefly a couple of the headlines? Because we did have some big news events, and I think people would appreciate if you
share one macro news.
Yeah, please share one macro news.
Yeah, we got U.S. retail sales data 9 minutes ago, and it missed expectations by a wide margin. It was supposed to come in at 0.6% increase of U.S. retail sales. It came in at 0.2%. In the previous months was negative 1.2%. So U.S. consumer spending grew, but it missed expectations by a pretty wide margin. It's almost half of a percentage point. But technically did grow. But, you know, that's the market update. So, you know, kind of like middling, but not great for an economic outlook on the U.S. economy right now.
Excellent. There it is.
Here
what
it is.
Box O Fun. Hang on a second. I will share this with you, everybody. That's on TikTok. Cool. This is the experience you had if you went to your wallet and you saw this weird transaction, and then you clicked it to verify it and see the asset that was attached. This is what you would see. You'd see this cool little box with instructions for how to claim your Faceless Mini. It had a QR code. And it was just kind of bobbling and wobbling around like that so that you were like, oh, what's inside? How sweet. It was a lot of fun. And Kyle outdid himself.
It looks great.
Kyle killed it, as always.
Yeah, as always. Okay, so speaking of macro, I do want you to give a take on a couple of these headlines, Will, because you can help us make sense of them. The first one is something we touched on last week that we didn't get a chance to deliver on. If you're under a rock or you just didn't see it, the House and the Senate both passed a bill, and Trump signed it, to push our budget out to September and narrowly avoid a government shutdown. They always make it so dramatic, and this time was no exception. You can find more details about the funding bill just about anywhere you want to search. Vote happened along party lines. Also in Congress in the United States this week, the stablecoin bill, I say this week, I meant last week, sponsored by Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee, shout out Tennessee, is moving on to the next stage of the legislative process. They had a short hearing. They got some support from the Senate Banking Committee, and it was passed with a bipartisan 18-6 vote. This is also known as the Genius Act, and it's the first meaningful step this Congress has taken, I would say, to establish some clarity on the regulation of stablecoins, cryptocurrencies that are pegged to government money. A couple other quick headlines. Tokenized treasuries are reported to have grown 20 times faster than stablecoins this year as the market continues to languish. And burn tokens sent to a wallet that nobody has the private key for. We think they're gone forever, except when the centralized exchange says no. 70 billion Crow, the token for Crypto.com, were burned from supply in 2021, and now they reportedly want to do a do-over to package the tokens into an ETF. They might be rolling back the chain in order to roll out that kind of a product. Okay. So, those are a couple of the headlines.
Well, I hate
none
that.
of the letters in the word bearish.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Sorry if you hold Crow. I'm not thrilled about that.
I'm curious. What happens? What happened to the price of Crow?
Who? How the ever-loving fuck is that a real proposal?
I know. It's funny because Aave actually had a proposal about a token that was sort of the opposite of that. Nice dragon. Yeah. Thanks, Solemn. They were debating whether or not to get a new token.
Is actually doing pretty damn well.
Is it really? Interesting.
I guess you're balancing the
it's doing pretty damn great.
ETF potential with bearishness of.
I think they're looking for an IPO, looking for an ETF. There are a lot of bearish things about Crypto.com. Yeah.
I mean,
but that's not one of them.
They do a
ETF
that we don't think about.
Yeah, they do. They're the leading exchange by volume, I do believe, in the United States, or at least they were.
Leading exchange by volume? Oh,
remember we looked this up. We looked this up. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months ago before the end of the year, and Crypto.com was leading. And then I think it was maybe, I don't know. We could look it up again. But I was surprised to learn that. No.
Yeah.
Thank you, Solemn, for the gifts, my friend. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on the stablecoin, on the budget, on...
I wasn't paying attention at all to the stablecoin thing, so that's news to me.
Yeah, it kind of skated by. They were doing it last week. Congress people were meeting, talking about it. And I also feel like Senator Cynthia Lummis's Bitcoin bill got a couple of mentions.
Yeah, so it got actually introduced to the floor. Was that right?
Yeah. That's correct. I don't know that they've made any meaningful motion on it, but there are a couple of quiet things happening in Congress that crypto people should be really excited about, the kind of things we wanted, the kind of things we've talked about that are finally getting the ball in motion. Alex, like you say, the attention span of crypto, get ready to meet the speed of Congress. Well, Congress is like a locomotive that is starting to leave the station, and it looks like they're moving forward in what I would call a helpful direction.
Slowly but surely.
But surely. There's enough people with enough Bitcoin to make it happen, to enrich themselves, and you just got to make sure you're doing the same thing.
Yes, and don't call me Shirley. So, if you've got a crypto question, this is the place for it. I want to ask my own question, which is, guys, who is our guest on?
Not going to lie, that was good.
Thank you.
Is it Shirley?
It might be Shirley.
I'm pretty sure it's Shirley.
I know we've got Aptos coming up next week.
Yeah, next.
But this week I'm temporarily verklempt.
I'm pretty sure that that this week is actually unofficially scheduled. If anything, I think there are several people that we're waiting for confirmations on which weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say we have this week. I was like, we have this Wednesday booked, but yes. I can't remember who.
Oh my gosh. I don't think it's on the calendar. Now that as soon as I created that Calendly calendar, every thought I had about who was actually on it that I needed to maintain myself, totally gone. Absolutely out of my head.
I know somebody has it. I'll have to go and look it up.
Well,
Monday.
we'll figure it out.
I've been drunk all weekend.
It's a professional organization here.
Professional. No, we are a fake radio show, guys. Come on.
Fake radio. That's true.
We're professional fake radio show hosts.
It's the best, worst fake radio show ever.
The best, worst. Oh.
So if you've got a crypto question, you can trust us with it. Don't ask us about your radio show. Definitely ask us about cold wallets. Ask us about news. Ask us about anything that you are curious, concerned, or skeptical about. I am hoping to return to video production. I've had a lot going on. I will give you one quick update about some of that, which is Crypto the Game. If you are unfamiliar with Crypto the Game, the first thing to do is to go back to the After Dark playlist on our YouTube channel. Check out the Rise Up Morning Show on YouTube. We got a playlist, the Rise Up After Dark Show. You can see all our past episodes. 2 episodes ago, we had a really great interview with Dylan Abrascato. He's one of the co-founders of Crypto the Game, which is now in its 3rd season. It's a survival game where many players compete for one grand prize pot this season of 71.6 Ether, about $160,000. Each night, the players who are separated into tribes, they vote people off depending on how you performed in an immunity challenge, depending on what alliances they have. And at the end of the game, there's only one baby. All the players who are eliminated, they pick a player to win the pot. This season is called Resurrection Island. And the challenge or twist is that if a player is eliminated during the day, then they go to Resurrection Island, which just means they compete the next day against all the other eliminated players, and one player will be restored to the game with immunity. There's one player called Bixbyte who has been sent to Resurrection Island, get this, 3 times and come back. Other interesting tidbits include that the Blue Tribe, after tribes were shuffled and people were scattered and got the choice to return or stay, they executed not only the first successful no vote, meaning they had a night where they chose not to eliminate anybody, they did the second no vote in Crypto the Game history. And all kinds of other stuff is happening. It's day 8 out of 10. I'm still in. Our friend Mike is still in, and the vibe is just unmatched. Everybody's really tired.
What kind of challenge are you guys doing? Because this is remote, isn't it?
It's totally remote. I will give you an example.
What are the challenges?
One day we signed into the website at 11 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Eastern, when the challenges go live. And players saw one of 4 things. They saw a picture of a goat, like the goat emoji, or they saw the word today. This was on March 14th, Pi Day. Or they saw the crypto capital, or they saw, some say it's best enjoyed folded. So all these are clues that the tribe members first have to figure out what are all the possible clues. So we're talking in a Telegram chat. I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. Somebody says today. Oh, it's Pi Day. Somebody else says best enjoyed folded. Oh, maybe it's pizza. Pizza pie. Pizza pie goat. Greatest pizza of all time. Crypto capital. What's the crypto capital? Williamsburg. What's the greatest pizza of all time in Williamsburg, New York? So we're looking online. We're calling pizza places. And one guy in our tribe says, I'm down the street from Best Pizza. I'm going, guys. And sure enough, several teams are thinking about this as we are. We get a plate of pizza that has the word Gene Parmesan ? Exclamation point written on it. And on the website, there's a field that says just enter your answer. Somebody types in Gene Parmesan ? Exclamation point, and it says, congratulations, you have completed this challenge. So it's like,
nice.
And sometimes
how is Williamsburg the capital of crypto?
Because many people who work in our industry or many companies have headquarters or offices there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's stuff like that, you know, or maybe there'll be a wallet transaction that you have to trace. And in the signing details, there's a link to, you know, another wallet, or the amount of tokens is significant. Or some days like yesterday, it's just a game. We played Brick Breaker. And the tribe whose members had the highest average score got immunity. I played Brick Breaker for almost 8 hours yesterday. People were sending me their NFTs. We were sharing them together so that people who couldn't play that day could get a higher score and we could help the tribe. It's intense. And the coolest part about it is that people showcase incredible skills. Like if you're hiring for crypto or you want to get a job in crypto, you should play Crypto the Game. because first of all, you're hanging out with people who work at Uniswap or Coinbase or MoonPay or Uniswap, and you're solving puzzles and challenges together. Somebody vibe coded a dashboard for our team so that we could see all of the average scores for every player on all teams. Mike vibe coded a dashboard like that. It's an incredible exercise in collaboration, and it's probably the most fun outside of what we do that I've ever had in crypto. And frankly, I'll be glad when it's over because
So
it's
what's
exhausting.
your score?
My score?
Yeah.
My score for the Brick Breaker game was I got 238 for myself out of a possible 250, and 236 for someone else.
Damn.
Several people had a
Mike got
perfect score.
210. Mike got 210.
Oh, Mike,
Mhm.
dang. I beat you not once, but twice, dude.
Bow.
Or Mike, sorry. I love you. I love Mike. We were talking last night. Were you eliminated? And he said, nope, I'm alive.
How many
He's
people are
played a
alive
quiet
still?
game.
With 2 days left?
300 out of
Okay.
700. So it's
Okay.
actually still quite a big field. They'll probably take just under 100 people to the final. In the source code for the game, there is an event called Red Wedding. There is also a merge that we are anticipating where the tribes that have dwindled will be combined. And then it will sort of become an individual game, I think.
It's funny. You said the merge, and I was like, whoa, the old Ethereum words.
Dude,
It's like,
seriously.
whoa. I
Isn't it wild that that's
I remember
considered
that was like
reason?
one of the biggest headlines we were talking about for a while. And that wasn't all that long ago either. It feels like a lifetime ago. The merge.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. The merge, the purge, the surge. What's the other one? There's another one.
I don't
Go
know.
look
Then
up
you
the
have all-
Ethereum
then you have
roadmap
all
if you
the-
want some cool words.
Then you have all the silly but also amazing upgrade names that people give the upgrades in the crypto space. It's the
Yeah.
best names for upgrades. It's like Mimblewimble, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
And that's a
tank
real thing.
sharding.
That's a
light
real
thing.
thing. That was a real thing. Well, dude, Crypto the Game sounds dope. I definitely want to do it next time.
I think we all should do it next time, and it's the best 0.1 ETH you can spend if you're concerned, curious, or want to work in the crypto industry, bar none. And you guys
The
would be great
networking
at it.
is nuts. That comes out
Also,
of
I
it.
will say the best part that Will is feeling FOMO about is the fact that I'm on Aqua Tribe, whose mascot is the dolphin. We
I
have
know.
so many good dolphin memes, dude.
I really need that.
Okay, we do have a couple of good questions coming in. Solemn, how many people are on a team? It depends on how many people are playing. The cap is 800, so 80 to 100 people or less. Where did it go?
Yes.
You guys have not said much about XRP. What do you think is going to happen with the coin
It's-
and the price? I will say we usually get one or two questions about it, and we don't talk about it every day all the time. But I saw a video. Did you guys see this video? I want to make a stitch of it. This guy who works here, I don't know him personally, and his name is escaping me. He made a video about how it's not helpful to talk about XRP going to $10,000, so we should all just stop. And then Heymu Rahman made a great video talking about here's the hype around XRP, and here's my perspective on it as someone who works in the crypto industry. Do you guys have a perspective on XRP that you'd like to share?
If I must,
I will temper this. It doesn't meet the qualifications of something that I invested in the crypto space because it doesn't have enough adoption on the blockchain. However, it is in the pile of crypto. Say pile. It's in the short stack of crypto that is potentially being considered to be added to the United States Digital Asset Crypto Reserve, and that is a very exciting marketing headline. On top of already a very large community of outspoken people across all of social media that can run with that. And even if the Digital Asset Reserve stockpile, whatever the actual name of it is, even if they never take money and actually go out and buy those cryptos, because as of right now, it does exist. It's just, if they, confiscate XRP in this case, it then gets added to that reserve pile. But if they ever direct money towards buying it along with Cardano, Solana, and Ethereum, then yeah, it's probably going to go up in value. But the thing is that bill of that short list still has to go through Congress to then get approved for spending. And they could say, hey, we only want to, there could be negotiating. They could say, hey, we only want this money to go into Ethereum or Cardano and Solana or, whatever. There's going to be negotiations going through it. So just keep your eyes open. But, it's at the point with that huge of a headline, with that huge of a community where, of those coins, I'm really just interested in Ethereum and Solana more so than Ethereum. But maybe I'd throw like a little bit into Cardano and a little bit into XRP just to have like a diversified stack that I call like the part of my portfolio that's just like digital asset reserve stockpile portfolio. And then I have the other things, right? So those are my thoughts on it. I could expand on why I don't see blockchain adoption really coming for XRP, but I feel like Alex can tackle that, and I've talked about it a lot. But that's just kind of how I look at it from like a high overview.
Well said, Alex. What are your thoughts?
I'm so tired
of talking about XRP.
Of XRP. It's
Tell
so.
me why.
Listen,
so boring.
It's boring, and it's become a good chunk of the space's entire personality, and that's obnoxious. They're not the only ones with maximalists, of course. Tons of cryptocurrencies have maximalists. XRPs are special. The part that bothers me about it is just that the conversation around it is never objective, ever. I can count on one hand in all the years I've been here. I can count on one hand the number of times I've heard people talk about it in a way that I've found to be like rational or objective. Here's the thing. It's gigantic. Okay. It's been at the near top of the, by market cap rankings list of cryptocurrencies for a very long time. It's probably going to stay there. It's huge. Okay. There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people holding it. That's another one of its problems. They're just holding it. Okay. No one does anything with it. No one. And that's one thing to be aware of.
And that is one of the reasons why it doesn't meet my qualifications. Mine personally.
Does that mean it's a bad investment? No, not necessarily. If in crypto land, all it takes for something to increase is for enough people to believe that the price should go up. And XRP is one of those things that is going to have attention and people who are obsessed with it for as long as it exists and as long as there is an industry. That's just a fact. The thing that pisses me off, in addition to the fact that people either hate it and call it a scam or believe it's going to tens of thousands of dollars per token, both of those people are misguided and being driven by bias. And objectively, it's just really not that interesting. Okay. It's a volatile cryptocurrency that's being proposed as an international cross-border payment solution, which is a job that we should all be aware of belongs to stablecoins. I'm sorry. That's just the way that it is.
There is no advantage.
You could build international payment rails on the XRP ledger, and you could fund the movement and the operation of all those things with the XRP token. Absolutely, you could do that. That would be cool. That would probably make sense. That's probably something that Ripple as a company would be capable of handling and managing and building and offering to people and charging significant amounts of money for. But the narrative that I hear from misguided people that it's going to replace Swift and become worth tens of thousands of dollars just because Swift moves, trillions and
trillions a day
every single year. Just look up how much Swift is valued at. And my question is always, why would XRP be valued any more than that if all they do is replace it? So I think there's plenty of reasons and cases where, big, huge, crazy things could happen on the ledger, and it could, stuff could be built there, and the XRP token could increase in demand because it needs to be used to power the things on that network. All of these things, I could totally see a world in which that happens. Again, you can't deny the fact that it has an absolutely massive holder base of very diehard and passionate people who don't care about any bad news. They're not open to having their minds changed. They're not open to considering the fact that maybe they're wrong about it. They're not open to having an objective conversation about XRP ever. They just love it and they believe it's the future. And because of that, it's probably just going to keep existing and doing its up and down. Beyond that, I'm personally not that interested in it, not because of any crazy controversy, but one, because I don't enjoy talking about it. I'm not having fun right now because
I'm not having fun. Do you think this is the look of a man who's enjoying himself?
dude, it just sucks to talk about because people are so emotional about it.
Yeah.
And they don't get, like, I don't care what anyone said. Like, I will fully admit that there are maximalists everywhere, and there are obnoxiously toxic people in the Solana community, in the Ethereum community. I've met some Bitcoin maxis that make me want to jump out of a building.
Yeah.
There are Cardano people. Like, every single group has a chunk of people that believe that they've discovered basically, the equivalent of the fountain of youth, and they're not willing to be convinced otherwise, and they do not care about any objective analysis of this thing that they're obsessed with. And if they're not going to get rich, they're going to just make you miserable by just being a toxic bag of shit. And that's the case in every single major cryptocurrency. There is that group of people. The problem with XRP is that narrative gets used to hoodwink and swindle shitloads of people who have like a very weak grasp on this entire industry, and they get shoehorned into the whole thing, only knowing about XRP and believing, because of the toxic maximalists there, that everything else is garbage and trash, and that they are like the unique and independent thinkers in a sea of sheep. And that like basis in conspiracy that drives XRP's social adoption is very, very, very unhelpful. And it leads to a very specific kind of toxicity. And that's my personal beef with it.
Let me address Cosmic's comment, because he's made a couple of really thoughtful remarks in response and is probably in that group of people you could count on one hand. He says, you keep referring to they. Not all of us believe that nonsense, and makes the good point a few comments back that it is a pretty major cryptocurrency. And we've said on this show before, I've held it. I would consider holding it again. There are absolutely ways to make it part of your smart investing thesis.
Can I just say, though, because I'm already annoyed, and Cosmic, please come up, because we only have these conversations between comments, and you're hyper limited by only having like 8 characters that you can write in a comment. I can't make the disclaimer any more blatant or obvious, and I refuse to give it more often. I said it 3 times in my little soliloquy there, that I know it's not everybody, okay? So, maximalists, pull your head out of your rear end for 4 seconds and just listen to me say, I know that this is not everybody, okay? That's why I said there is a small group of maximalists of every major cryptocurrency that are toxic and believe that they have found the fountain of youth, and they are impossible to talk to. If your opening rebuttal to me saying then something negative about the cryptocurrency that we're talking about is, it's not everybody, you're probably closer to that group than you think you are. Okay, so I don't care that you think it's not everybody. I know that, and that's why I give the disclaimer before and in the middle and after every time I say it. And this is why I'm so sick of talking about XRP. This is why I hate talking about XRP. This is truly it.
For people who can't see the TikTok screen, Alex just got the smoke weed every day glasses, and
I missed that.
It was a perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
That was your thug life moment, Alex.
God, it's just unbearable, man. It's unbearable.
I understand. Go ahead,
I will say this, though, but because XRP dominates such a huge marketing headline, and it's something to talk about, and the price action of it as well did so well in that category of coins that was like dinosaur-y, but still went up, does get a lot of people in the space. And when a lot of people do hear about it and get into the space, a lot of them, it doesn't matter the coin, but a lot of them will get burned
in the Twilight
and then
Zone
get in.
And going crazy. We did hear me say that 3 different times.
We did hear you say it, and I want our viewers to know that, like, it's obviously something we care about covering. We're aware that we might be biased against it in that way, and that's one of the reasons why. If you didn't know, when I saw David Schwartz at East Denver, he's a mainstay there. I said to Alex, I texted him a little picture. I said, should I talk to him? And I did, and hopefully
you got a little selfie.
Yeah, hopefully they'll respond to our request. We sent a press request. I'm sure they get a ton of them soon, to have somebody from Ripple, maybe even David Schwartz, on the show, and let them have a chance to really give us their perspective, answer your questions, and hopefully give a very nuanced, balanced take to what Ripple and XRP are doing, what they are not doing, what's worth paying attention to, and what's worth skipping.
And why would we host that show? Because, like I said, again, there's clearly just a massive movement behind this thing. The number of holders is ludicrous. I would hazard a guess, and I don't know this. I'm taking a guess, and I'm going to go try to like look it up and get the actual answer. But my guess is that after Bitcoin and stable coins, if I was trying to put in order like the individual specific cryptos that have the most holders, XRP's got to be top 5. It has to be.
I mean, it's the 4th biggest cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and then XRP. Yeah,
and I would almost wonder, because with ETH, I think it'd be really. It's hard to get. Oh hell yeah, it's hard to get. It's really hard to get like a real answer on that, like unique humans that hold something. Just
as opposed to like a ton of wallets.
So many wallets. Yeah, I mean, like I personally know people on ETH that have 20 wallets. That are like active and holding stuff that would count as 20 wallets.
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard to get that data, but I would hazard a guess that it's up there. And I mean, you cannot ignore that. Even if it's look at Pi. Look at Pi's valuation. It's completely worthless. And it has a massive multi-billion-dollar valuation because there's a ton of people who believe, literally just because they've locked up so much of their time and energy into participating in this thing, that it has to be worth something. And because of that, it's worth something. And that's it.
The self-fulfilling prophecies.
So regardless, you can't ignore XRP. And I do truly believe that you're dumb if you ignore it. If you think like it's completely meaningless and worthless. There's so many people, the company's huge. You know, the other disclaimers that I give all the time is that Ripple is one of maybe 3 organizations that could have held off the SEC for that long.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I want David Schwartz here because I don't want to really talk to him at all about XRP. I want to talk to him about Ripple.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him. I was like, so what are the conversations like with banks? Like, how are you guys, positioning the solution? I've heard some conversations about like Ripple and the government. Like, how could a government use Ripple? I want to talk to him about that kind of stuff. Like, what are you developing? I want to talk to him about that stuff because that stuff never gets talked about. It's always just price appreciation of the token, which Ripple's totally fine with because it helps them raise money for Ripple.
And I mean, how many people do you know who could give the kind of takes David Schwartz could give? Like he is in that elevated class of crypto people who should be in the news when he's talking about what a blockchain can do, what it can't do, what it should be. Like everybody's got an opinion. His is about as qualified as it gets.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I will absolutely die on this hill.
Anyway, I'm done.
No, it's okay. Everybody loves to see you get a little heated up, and I think it's an important conversation to have. I appreciate the question. I do have a couple of questions from the comments that I would love to read. We probably won't have time to get all of them
down too, so we can do a roundup here.
Okay, so I definitely love answering the question. If you had $1,000, how would you invest it? I also thought there was a good question that's a little technical about something called UTXOs, unspent transaction outputs, that somebody was confused about. And then there was a good question about open source versus closed source, which is more secure. But what do you got, Alex? And then let's maybe pick a couple from the bag, and we'll keep it going. We've got about 20 minutes left in the show, so if you've got a question, don't hesitate to drop it below, and definitely check out the Rise Up Discord server, because if we don't answer it on the show today, we want to make sure you get an answer, and that's the best place for it. So what are you seeing in the comments?
So our friend Jay Heat was curious about DAOs, as he's been kind of concocting a little brainchild of his own project-wise. I was curious about, the potential for the government to ever work with DAOs in the future. And then the other one was...
Sorry, say that again? It kind of cut out for me. I apologize.
DAOs. I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curious about whether or not the government would ever work with a DAO at some point in the future.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
And then there was one about someone curious about, resources or ways to enter the space as an engineer and where we would recommend getting started. And then on the same, not the same thing, obviously, but in the same kind of vein of something a little bit more technical, like UTXOs. I had a great question the other day about MEV, and I've been doing a some digging and some scripting a little bit. So the next crypto in plain English in 60 seconds, whatever, is going to be about MEV, and I think that's another good one to hit at some point, even if we just put a pin in it for this week, just because MEV is one of those things that gets a lot of people hosed when they're trying to play in the meme coin casino and they don't have the same tool set that other people use.
Talking about snipers.
We could put that on the list to talk about MEV a little bit.
Okay. We've got 20 minutes, and that's a lot of questions. I can answer the DAO one in 15 seconds.
Hit it.
Time me. Governments will absolutely work with DAOs in the future, and in fact, in some ways, they're already working with them. The most notable example is how Donald Trump, related to World Liberty Financial, owns Aave tokens. It's not unrealistic to think that more and more companies will become DAOs as the legal structures become more common and they can do more things. So yes.
Ding.
Ding. I was looking for it actually, but I had it on a different page. Thank you very much. Okay. Hit another one. I think we should do how to invest 1K last, because that's a great question to close on, unless we get another one. If you've got a really good question, you might bump somebody off the list. Can we maybe talk about open source and closed source as a way to get into some of the technical things? Okay, so for people who are unfamiliar, open source just means that the software is, it's public. You can see it anywhere. Closed source means it's private. A company or individual or entity owns it. William, you looked like you had a strong take forming in your mouth, and I would love to pass it to you first. What's your thought?
Yeah. So there's pros and cons to both approaches, and you can make the argument that one is stronger than the other.
Okay.
If something is closed sourced, it could be because they've come up with something awesome, and they don't want to put it out into the open source world so that other competitors could grab it and have, lose their competitive advantage, right? So there's that possibility, but there's always a question mark or asterisk with that, unless you are also behind the firewall. If you can see the man behind the curtain and have the knowledge to be like, oh, is this actually something really cool or not? So that's why a company might want to close source something. However, at the same time, if it's closed source and it's not open to the public, it's not publicly verifiable. And therefore, it's harder you have to just believe that organization or company or whatever, that it's awesome. And everyone's like, is it? And they're
trust you.
It is. And some fears about the trust from that company can go down if they're being run by, or if they've hired a lot of people who have a great track record on certain things, then you can probably look at their closed source solution and be like, that's probably pretty awesome. And so on the open source side, it's wide open. But because of that, the open source data science community is gigantic. AI modeling, it's huge, it's massive. And that's where the greatest scientists in the world to novice data scientists go and cut their teeth. It's where you really build your resume. So the work that's being done in open source is really, really good. Really good. You can go and grab the best, most recent models available in the world on open source and go and use it. So you have the advantage of having this massive community basically auditing all these people's work. And you can do that the same if you just had a total solution. It doesn't have to be a model. It can be the front end, the back end, everything about this app can be audited by the public to then say, hey, this works. There aren't holes in the code, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you lose some sort of competitive advantage because you are telling the world exactly how you made this thing. And you have to find competitive advantages in other places and in other ways. So that's the difference between closed source and open source, pros and cons. There's no right answer as to which one you should do. It just depends on what strategy you think is best.
Beautiful, beautiful explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, anything to add, or can we maybe move to, can I give a UTXO and then can I kick it back to you for what the hell was the other one? How to start as an engineer, or a touch on MEV?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I don't have a
no, Fred. I've got it.
I would say there was one follow-up question on the open source thing that just asked, is open source stuff more likely to be hacked? And absolutely not.
No.
Things that are built like shit, whether they're closed or open, are the things that are most likely to get hacked.
Ding.
But thank you.
We're just preemptively going to start saying ding.
Yeah.
Think about some stuff that is open source. Android,
mm-hmm.
the entire operating system, Unix, the entire operating system. There's
Tesla's
a
battery
tremendous,
strategy.
Really?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a tremendous amount of amazingly built, very widely used technology that was born out of open source. We've been talking a lot about Move as a programming language lately, as it relates to how Movement is doing it and what Aptos built that enabled all of these people to use Move as a language. All of that's open source, all of it. A ton. I mean, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these, and Bitcoin is unbelievably secure, and all these things are open source. It's all about quality, not about closed or open.
Yeah, very well said. Okay, so UTXO. What is a UTXO? This is a kind of a technical question, but understanding it is important because it can help you understand how blockchains work, how they solve this problem called double spend. A problem with digital money that tokenizing money solves is the double spend problem. If I have a digital thing, like a file on my computer, I can just make as many copies of it as I want. It's really hard to tell one from the other. And it's like the infinite money Rosebud Sims glitch kind of thing. UTXO, unspent transaction output, is a fundamental concept that was introduced with Bitcoin. And there are several other blockchains that use it. Litecoin uses it, Cardano uses it. And what it is it's like a receipt. A UTXO represents a piece of cryptocurrency that is available for spending. Like if you have a $20 bill in your wallet and you buy something that costs $5, you're not just going to tear off a piece of the $20 bill. You give the cashier the full $20 bill and they give you back $15 in change. And a UTXO is what happens with Bitcoin. When you receive Bitcoin, it's stored in your wallet as a UTXO. That's the kind of information that is written in the ledger. And then when you spend Bitcoin, the smart contracts select, or the validators, your wallet, the infrastructure, they select one or more. Sometimes you need more than one UTXOs to cover payment. And any remaining balance is sent back to you as change. So if you've got like a 0.7 Bitcoin UTXO and a 0.5 Bitcoin UTXO in your wallet, and you send 8.8 Bitcoin to a friend, then you are going to select the two UTXOs that add up to 0.8. So those two will go together. They'll be sent, and you will get 0.4 Bitcoin back as change in the form of a UTXO. This is just, another reminder that tokens, they don't live in your wallet. They don't physically exist. All that a blockchain is tracking is a ledger, like your checkbook. X account sent, Y account received, Y account sent, Z account received. That updates and updates and updates as all the computers that maintain the network validate and achieve consensus. So I hope that helps. It's a quite a technical concept, but
It's a
simple in understanding. And it's one of the things that makes Bitcoin so secure and so helpful. You can't spend somebody else's UTXOs. You're not gonna create extra money, yada yada.
I'm chuckling because tech CEO ding
Caught it.
Ding!
Caught it. Thank you for the ding. Alex, how about MEV? And then maybe we can give some suggestions for if you're a technical minded person, how to start as an engineer.
Yeah, for sure. So MEV comes up a lot. You might see things like exchanges or things like swaps, decentralized exchanges, whatever, labeled themselves as like MEV resistant. It's kind of a bumper sticker selling point.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can say in crypto to sound smart and protect. Like if I wanted to scare someone off from a conversation with me, like I was on an airplane, I'd be like, oh, I solve MEV problems in blockchain and cybersecurity. You know what I mean? Like that's a word I would use to just scare someone away.
Yeah, it gets tossed around a lot, but so what it's referring to, it's an acronym that stands for maximal extractable value. And basically what it has to do with is the rearranging or the arranging, the organizing of transactions in sequence to make sure that the max value is extracted. The way that it manifests most commonly is in the meme world, because there's a tremendous amount of fast and barely paying attention money being tossed around in meme land. And let's just say that the three of us are trading into the same meme, and Will doesn't know about MEV and all this kind of stuff. And he just has his Phantom wallet, and he is looking up the contract address and doing a swap right from Phantom with Sol into the meme coin of his choice. And Evan is much more tech savvy, and Evan is running an attack on people like Will called front running. Basically, what he's doing is using a software program to read that Will has submitted a transaction request at a certain level. And Evan's software is so fast that it reacts to that transaction being sent, and it upcharges just a tiny little bit to squeak in there and organize the list of transactions so that Evans actually gets handled first and can impact the price of the asset so much that Will gets a worse deal, or that whoever sneaks their transaction in first gets a better deal, often without thought to whatever Will has to deal with. Another attack that's common in this is called sandwiching, which is exactly as it sounds. It's squishing two transactions on either side of Will's to try to manipulate his in such a way to, again, extract the maximum value. Yep. So basically what this means is that if you're out there raw dog and meme land with your own wallet and just a swap without using some sort of bot to do it, you're probably being taken advantage of by front runners and sandwich attackers. And there's a couple other MEV attack strategies that are not quite as common or quite as well known. So when things say MEV resistant, what they're talking about is basically just using the same kind of software to make sure that you are stacking your transaction in such a way that you can't get front run quite so easily. But as with all things, there's usually somebody with a bigger, fancier, more advanced tool set that can front run you regardless. And so that's kind of the battle of MEV resistance, is constantly getting bigger and badder tools to protect yourself.
There's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish.
Mm-hmm.
Will you
Star
look
Wars
like
reference, Evan?
There's always a bigger fish. That's the Star Wars reference.
Star Wars reference, yeah.
I have seen Star Wars, but
it's a trap. That's in the Phantom Menace, episode 1. Yeah. I just saw you go, and I was like, you didn't get that one. We didn't get that one. We didn't get that one.
Right over my head. Okay, so if you are a person who aspires to become a developer in the crypto space,
it's a bigger dolphin.
Always a bigger dolphin. Where's my ding? If you aspire to be a developer, if you are a developer who wants to pivot to crypto, then some things I would recommend you do are, first of all, get on Twitter. Lots of people who are building in the crypto space are on Twitter. Developers are no exception. The second thing I would do is explore what is called DevRel, developer relations. We have a couple of contacts. Our friend Crystal is over at Hedera. There are the people at Polkadot, Layer 0. There are the team at Eigenlayer is, for my money, one of the best in the space. The base team, I think, has strong DevRel. We know some folks there. Just find an ecosystem, meaning a blockchain network, where you can connect with some people and then ask them, because they are going to be your best resource, and you're going to be able to build your social capital at the same time that you're building your knowledge and skill capital. There are lots of no-code, low-code tools. I just had a great conversation with a fellow, Doom Apocalypse, that I hope to have on the show soon, who started coding last year because he was a trader. He was interested in crypto, but saw all the no-code tools that were out. And now he's built an AI bot for a blockchain project that will help people learn about crypto by doing different things. Like task number 1 is create your own crypto wallet, receive a token, do some stuff. And he's got this like AI that assists with the whole thing that you can interact with as you engage with the course content. And he built it all totally himself as a person who didn't know how to code like 90 days ago. So lots of good stuff out there now. And we have many more recommendations. I would say whatever you guys want to recommend is good. And then definitely jump in the Discord because we can plug you in. We got a whole developer chat there. What do you guys think?
Better question here for Alex than myself, because I'm not really in the developer space myself. I'm not
Alex
too well connected as to the communities you could join.
He would say have a dad who's,
have a dad.
First of all, have a dad.
Have a dad.
If you don't, sorry, you can't work in the crypto industry as a developer.
I meant just have a dad who's been there since the whole time.
He never went out to go get milk.
No.
I would say the top things that I would do, to recover slightly some of the stuff that Evan talked about, and succinct it a little bit. Discords and Reddits and stuff like that are great hubs to talk to people and see, who's learning what and who's building what and who's using what. There's a ton. There are a ton of ecosystems that have grant programs, and I would say it's 100% worth it to mess around with something. And like, if you're going to sit down and learn a language or a skill to deploy something on chain, I would 100% look and see if anyone is offering grants for anything that you are interested in participating on, and then submit a couple applications, because you might be able to earn some money to learn and mess around and put stuff on chain. At this point in the adoption cycle, lots of ecosystems are interested in not even anything super long standing or whatever. They just want people on their chain doing stuff, and they will pay you for it. And I would say that would be my biggest piece of alpha. Troll the boards and look for grant programs that are accepting applications, and then toss some out there and see what skills you would need to build in that specific ecosystem. Usually it involves downloading some tool sets, some different libraries. Again, to kick it back, a lot of this stuff is open, and you can kind of dig through it, and but that's what social media is for too. Just join some discords. Every blockchain has a Discord that has a developer section. You can learn a lot, whether it's worth your time if it's dead, or if it's bustling and people are talking about stuff. 100%. Yeah. I mean, there's the world's your oyster as an engineer. Tons of demand for your skill set as an engineer in this industry, for sure.
And the money is there.
Money's there.
It sure is.
The money is there.
I was going to give a quick example. Somebody asked about Velodrome, and completely independent of Velodrome, this is exactly what you need to do. If you have the question, thoughts on something, here's what you do to formulate your own thoughts. And they're going to be better than any thoughts you're going to get from an influencer when you ask that question. So real quick, I'm going to share this. So
are you,
Evan?
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay. So if you take the thing you're interested in, the protocol, the project, the ecosystem, the network, whatever, toss it into the old llama, and let's just get a little bit of data. So over here, we can see that Velodrome, which is a decentralized exchange, they have $60.5 million of total value locked, TVL. That's, as you can see here by the little tooltip, value of all of the coins held in various smart contracts around this protocol. So this is how much money is on the platform. So here's what's interesting. You get more than just TVL on this little list. Their annualized revenue across all of the three versions of Velodrome is $10.5 million. That's not nothing. And actually, their market cap is 50 million, which puts their market cap, their valuation, at about 5 times their annualized revenue.
I would say that's appropriate.
Yeah, I was like, that's an actual real world valuation.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the most appropriately valued crypto protocols I've ever seen, like to a T. Which is wild. So one, their cash flow, they are making money. 2, they're making a significant amount of money. 3, they appear to have pretty decent 24-hour volume, even at this stage in the market. We're looking at just shy of 30 million. The market cap is appropriate for this revenue, which is bonkers. You don't get to say that in crypto very often.
No, almost never.
No. This might be the first time actually we've ever said that
the first time
on the show.
And I would say in the grand scheme of things, TVL's okay. It's holding okay. They're not really growing, which would be something I would look at and I would be concerned about. So I would try to dig into that a little bit. Like as they stand, they're appropriately valued, which in crypto usually means, according to the masses and the speculators, that they're horribly undervalued. And they're making revenue, so that's interesting. But anyway,
so
this
telling me there's a chance.
Telling you there's a chance. This is where I would start though. And then, if you pop over to their social media. Obviously, they have their profile here on Twitter, which is the place that Web3 businesses live, and then of course their actual website. If you wanted to connect a wallet and run a swap and give it a test run and see what you think about it, and then of course there's a whole bunch more you can read about it. But
their website is basically Aerodrome, by which I mean Aerodrome's website is basically Velodrome. So if you're not a fan
they're
of that,
sister projects, if you will.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
someone asked, "What is this?" Take it easy. We are just demonstrating what to do when you have a question about a crypto project. The kind of research you can do yourself to get a more satisfying answer than almost any influencer could give you, even in an hour. So, my friends, we're at
And
that time.
one project was Velodrome.
That was Velodrome.
That was Velodrome.
We're at that time when we are about to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. Before we do, I would love to spend our last thoughts quickly answering this question. If I have $1,000, how would I invest it? How would you invest it? The commenter said, in parentheses, not financial advice. So don't worry. No one's going to go out and spend money. You can tell them whatever you want, guys. Hester Purse says she's not going to prosecute. Just kidding.
But yeah, like Tech CEO says, you buy $1,000 worth of the Rise Up morning mug.
Goddamn.
With the new branding, whenever that comes.
Listen, man, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I have a game to finish. So let's answer that question. And if you've got a question, a suggestion, a good joke, word of wisdom, complaint, put that somewhere else. But then let us know in the comments. And please, please, please do join the Rise Up Discord server. We have a great community there. We have resources for people at all levels of experience. The only thing missing is you. And if you are a member and you want to take your learning to the next level, then check out the memberships that we offer. We have premium memberships that you can try today for free for 7 days. And then for just a couple bucks a month, you can get discounts to every single service we offer, every recording, class, coaching. You get a bunch of PDFs for free. And if you become a Premium Plus member, we will send you the morning show mug for free. And this one's not going to be available for much longer because even though I am dragging my feet a little on posting the new design, when I do, that's it. This one's going away. So get them while they last. Get one for free with a premium membership. Guys, what would you do? If you had $1,000, it was burning a hole in your pocket, you know everything you know now, but you have no other, crypto holdings. You're starting from zero. How would you invest?
First of all, ask yourself, what is your financial goal? What's your investing goal here? Are you trying to do a quick flip to buy some little thing or whatever for yourself? Or are you trying to invest for the long term? If you are investing for the short term, the entire world of cryptocurrencies is open to you as potential investment options. If you're trying to invest for the long term, with the highest degree of confidence, you're really just looking at Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe Chainlink, but like maybes, right? If you believe in the crypto space and you want to add crypto to your long-term investing strategy for like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years until you retire or whatever, it's really just Bitcoin. Or what you do is you go and you buy some stable coins and you have that earning you some interest, even if you just keep it on Coinbase, earn some interest, buy those stable coins, and then take some time to research. Because if you're like, I want to do a short flip, you have 25 million cryptocurrencies to choose from. Yeah! And 99% of those, 99.9% of them are all total dead projects, and it's just a wasteland. It's like in The Lion King, when it was like the elephant bone land, that's, I don't know, I just thought about that for the first time in like years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Great memory.
That was the first movie I ever saw.
That's what 99.9% of crypto is. First movie you ever saw. That was a good first one. Yeah. Yeah.
In theaters.
Yeah. And then what you start doing is start doing some research. You can go, like what I first did is I'd go on social media and saw what coins people were talking about, wrote those down on a short list. And then I went onto their website, or I tried to look and see what other creators said, like good things and bad things.
Fact check yourself, brother.
Create a short list there. Another thing you should do is you should go to coinmarketcap.com or coingecko.com. And you should go look at like what the hottest trends are. You can go and you can click like what trends are in the space and find the trends that are most meaningful or impactful to you. You can find decentralized finance. You can find platform cryptocurrencies. You can find AI. You can find all this stuff, right? And then go back to your short list and see what coins are in those and figure out which ones you think are genuinely potentially valuable, and then make an investment decision there that is entirely your own by the end of it. So, I'm not going to tell you what coins to buy other than if it's long term, you're really just looking at Bitcoin, because Ethereum one day could get totally replaced by Solana. Solana one day could get totally replaced by, I don't know, Aptos, or, just pick something. Algorand, okay, Cosmic's still here. And, it could be anybody, right? But there's always going to be Bitcoin as long as there is a cryptocurrency industry. So those are my thoughts and opinions.
Dolphins in the chat for an excellent answer. Thank you very much. Alex, what about you? You got $1,000. What's your step-by-step?
USDC.
Tell me why.
No, it's right now I'm a little sussed out by this market. And so I'm holding more stable coins than other stuff. I have some exposure to, the things that I believe in long term, like Will said. Which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And I've got small positions in, I just added a little Ondo for the institutional play that I feel the best about.
That is overall, the institutional play I also feel the best about. Yeah.
Honestly, same.
They're cooking, and it's risky, of course, with all these things. That would be my biggest piece of advice. You have to identify like how much risk you're willing to take. And I've been saying a lot lately that I think we live in a time where in order to, have that building wealth conversation, you have to open yourself up to more risk than you've had to in the past. I think the methodologies for investing and building wealth that were around 20, 30, 40 years ago just simply don't exist anymore. And if you want the same kind of return, you have to adopt more risk than other people have had to before. I think gone are the days where you can just start from scratch right now and toss $250 into the S&P 500 and wait 40 years. I don't feel great about that strategy. So if you get into something like crypto, you have to have the risk conversation with yourself and with anyone else who is involved in your finances, whether that's, whatever family you have or whoever else is involved. I would have that conversation, because you could take something like, take any one of the big ones, Bitcoin, right? There's risk associated with investing in that. It could go down in the short term, in the midterm. We don't know exactly what the future brings. But in terms of crypto, right, Bitcoin is lower risk compared to altcoins. And then those are lower risk compared to tinier altcoins. And those are lower risk compared to meme coins and stuff like that. So it all comes down to how much risk are you willing to take on? How much money can you afford to be without? Don't put anything in that you think you might need next week or the week after. Because best case, you're opening yourself up to a taxable transaction that you really don't need to make because you're not hanging around that long. Or two, it might not be there because these things are volatile and they're not all great. And in fact, most of them are bad. Mm-hmm. So my non-answer to that question is understand your risk and then just invest accordingly. And, the most beginner friendly way that you could do it would be to go to the CoinGecko homepage. As you open it up, it's going to be automatically sorted, in descending order, Bitcoin first by market cap, and just work your way down that list and start reading about the stuff in the top 10 and then in the top 20. And then like Will said, what's hot on social media, what's trending, what has the most attention. Remember that attention is fleeting and we have short attention spans. So what's trending right now might not be trending next week. All that sort of stuff. There's just so much to consider. It's a really, really, really tough question to answer.
And then you also have to take into account like market conditions too. So it's like if I had $1,000, I would just be in stable coins. And like right now I have my Bitcoin and I have stable coins because I think there's lower to go, even though I am calling for that short-term rally. Still here. But don't say I'm a perma bear. So like, I'd just be in stable coins and sitting and doing my research and evaluating things because that's what I'm personally doing right now. But let's just say it was full on bull market. I'd still do the same. I'd still buy stable coins and take my time to do some research and then wait for a dip because there's always a dip as things go upwards. And then I'd buy into coins that I researched that I'm looking to do a flip on, That's that.
Yeah, I will use my last thought about how to invest $1,000. I don't have anything to add to what you guys have already said, except maybe while you're sitting on that $1,000, put it in a bank or under your mattress while you spend time in a community learning. And Bacon asks down below, how can you tell the difference between influencers who are trying to sell you something and a teacher that you can learn from? And I would simply say, if it seems like somebody is selling you something, they probably are. And the best way to learn is to find a community of people that are not just dependent on the leader to tell them what to do, but who are sharing what they know, asking good questions, learning, growing together. The kind of place that you're not going to be shamed for asking a question a beginner might have. And the kind of place where if you ask a question, you are given a helpful answer. That's going to be the teacher, the influencer, the whatever that you learn from. That helps you on your journey. Everybody needs somebody like that in crypto. We all need multiple somebodies like that. And while you're spending time with them, you could be thinking about which assets you want to invest that $1,000 in. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, after you've been learning with those people, it's still going to be a great time to buy crypto. And you will know so much more that however you choose to answer that question, what should I invest my $1,000 in, will be a better answer than anything all of us or your favorite influencer could tell you to buy right now. You're going to have skills. You're going to have a community. You're going to have so much more wealth that will help you be a better, more self-sufficient investor.
I know we're about to ride our dogs and ponies off into the sunset, but I do have some more data just for everybody to be aware of. Ooh, blanked out. This is a leading indicator for the U.S. economy. It's manufacturing data. Now, in the United States, you have the United States is broken up into manufacturing regions. I think there's 6 of them or 7 of them. Oh, a dolphin. Thanks, Mike. 2 dolphins. Thanks, Mike.
Whoa, I love it.
Wow. And so we got data alongside of the retail sales data this morning, which missed. It was the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index for the month of March. Now, manufacturing data is a leading indicator, whereas if we look backwards at retail sales, that's what happened in the month of February. That's looking backwards. Manufacturing data looks forwards to see what's expected to come to us. The thought process being manufacturers build stuff, they manufacture stuff based on future demand. So if they think future demand is going to be high for stuff, they make a bunch of stuff. If future demand is going to be low, they don't make a bunch of stuff. And economic bad times, people buy less. So manufacturers produce less. So for the month of March, and I'm not exactly sure what this measurement means, but previous month, the manufacturing index was at a 5.7. It was expected that for the month of March, it was going to be at negative 1.9, and it came in at negative 20. Now, that's a big miss. But again, I don't know exactly everything that goes into that index. But just understand that the forward-looking indicator for the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index came in with a big miss. Understand this will be skewed, though, because of the impact of tariffs. Yeah, I need to put more thought towards that and dive into it. Just understand forward-looking indicator looked bad from a manufacturing standpoint.
Okay,
so there
thanks for letting us know. We'll expect another update tomorrow, and when it's here, we will tell you about it. My true final last thought, because I wanted to give you a chance to just have a peek into our lives. You are the best part of what we do, and we really do take this very seriously. It's wonderful to have a relationship with all of you who tune in. And so we want you to get to know us and be able to support us too. I received the news yesterday that my grandfather, who was a big part of my life and someone who helped raise me, influenced my sense of style and way of moving about the world, he left us in his earthly form. I'm sure he's moving about in the mycelia and causing all kinds of havoc. But it's the first significant, really significant loss that I personally have had. And so I'm going to stay on the show, but if you've got extra love in your heart, boy, my grandmother could sure use it. And the people in my family, my grandpa's daughter, Amber, my aunt, they really could use your loving kindness, your good energy. And I just want to say to you guys, and also to everybody who watches now and in the future, how much it means to me to have just a community of friends that I could share something like that with. And also that gives me a reason to get out of bed every day and keep doing what we do. Cause boy, might be a fake radio show, but
Don't come for me.
it's a lot of fun. And I wouldn't do anything
I will
else.
absolutely die on this.
Thank
hill.
you guys. And what did you say? Should we get out of here? Should we come back tomorrow?
Yeah, but I just want to compliment you on that was fast. That was fast button work. That was a good combination of sound.
Listen, man.
Yeah. But sorry,
Don't mess
sorry
with
to
the
hear all that, man.
soundboard. I am excited to see you guys populate your own soundboards. They'll grow up so fast now that you got them and what you'll put on there. But we will talk about all that in a future show.
Pre-record
So
a
thank you for
5-minute rant about XRP so that I just have to push a button and then walk away.
I'm going to ask AI
stupid.
to analyze all of Alex's voice and then in his voice do a dolphin screech, record that, and then use it.
Didn't I fire you this weekend?
No, Evan still wants me here.
I do still want to be here. I do still want to be
This is
here.
a gross
And we got to go.
misrepresentation
Thank you
of
for
fact.
all the kind words, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. We are going to be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time right here on your screen. Check us out then. And until then, join us in the Discord. My friends, everybody stay safe. Be well. Until next time, everybody.